Let's talk about music videos. I'm sure if you're old enough, you'll remember when music videos came around, or at least blew up into the mainstream. Maybe your mind went to MTV when it launched as a music video channel in 1981 with its airing of Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles. So many online have been discussing a historical change that has people really scratching their heads. What if I told you that music videos didn't come into existence in the 1980s? What if I told you they didn't come into existence in the 1970s? Well, what about the 1960s? Nope. It was actually in the 1950s that music videos got their start. And I don't just mean one or two outliers. This was an entire industry with hundreds of these made. Now, before I get comments saying, how is this a Mandela effect? You have to remember that historical Mandela effects are especially unique, in that we might actually remember history being one way, or playing out in a specific way, only for it to seemingly change. That is how it's a Mandela effect. Many people remember music videos starting to come out in the late 1970s, or the early 1980s. This is now incorrect and has apparently always been incorrect. And I'm not talking about promotional music video clips for songs. Those have always existed. I'm talking full-on music videos. Here's the entire song with a video of the artists and musicians playing it and doing what they do. In the 1950s, there was a device that played music videos called the Scopitone. These used 16mm film and were placed in popular locations like restaurants, bars, and lounges. Imagine a jukebox, but with a screen. This spread from France to Italy to the UK to the United States and beyond. And the Scopitone wasn't the only one. There were actually rival competitor devices. One such example is the Cinebox, which also came out in the 1950s. And later on, there was the Color Sonic, which used 35mm film. Over the decades that these devices were in service, there were hundreds of music videos that you could play. So tell me, if you were alive back then and you're watching this today, does any of this sound familiar? As it usually goes with these historical Mandela effects, these things that come up often sound fantastical, like an alternate reality. But perhaps we all just forgot. I honestly don't know. I'll let you decide.